Skip the countdown. All right, I guess I gotta talk about people that I also like too. Not to say that they're wrong in any sense of form, because anything, unlike other those that'll ever probably talk about this shit, these dudes will at least watch the case. You know, fucking day by day, testimony by testimony, evidence by evidence. But it's almost like they understand what's happening, or it's like Black Mass says, like you ever been played? You ever been played between two people, and you're stuck in the middle of something, and you just don't know what the hell's going on? Yeah, this is exactly what's going on. They're prosecuting one white boy, shooting three white boys, calling it racist, when three white boys just killed a black dude. And not to say people ain't covering it, but it is not getting as much news. If you at least I don't know, I haven't caught it on anything else besides like NBC or not even Fox. None on any other channel that they're showing it on. They're showing sidebar commercials and other shit to sidetrack you, yo. But I don't know. These guys make it seem like it's just, these guys are picking on
state lines.
Young kid. It sucks that Kyle got in the middle of it.
How is this on? How is this on the air? How is this on the air?
He crossed state lines.
I'm surprised anything's on.
Dude, these people are
they're still going with that.
Evil. Look, these are the faces of evil right here.
Yes, they are.
Well, I don't know about the guy on the right. I don't remember if he says anything, but at least Joe.
Doesn't.
Just the fact that he's there. The fact that he's there, and he's just like, yeah, this is our narrative.
Yeah.
Let the 16-year-old, let the 18-year-old kid fry.
Yep.
For no reason.
God, it's so
gun
sad.
laws illegally carry around an AR-15 and shoot three people and kill people. And this judge again,
kill people.
It's absolutely disgusting
all they gotta say is
the way he's conducting himself.
These guys right here. Put your kid
that would
in that
be
situation.
False statement of fact right there, because he wasn't
kid,
illegally carrying the firearm. Like as soon as they can prove that he was illegally carrying the firearm, even if he ends up going to jail, he can sue.
Well, no. He couldn't sue because they would just say, well, we are working off of what the prosecution was stating.
But that's still thing, dude.
Yeah.
What?
So as long as the prosecution's making a claim.
But why he would say allegedly though?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's true. But
he just said he's illegally carrying a firearm.
Right.
That's not fucking true. That's fake news.
I think that would be much harder to prove in a defamation suit than saying Kyle is beating up girls and he's celebrating killing people.
But those are different words.
Because especially celebrating killing someone, because saying
the defamation though, it's a false statement of fact, and beating up girls is subjective.
Well, even saying that Kyle's in a bar celebrating killing
especially if you have evidence.
Subjective.
We have evidence, guys.
Is it?
Come on,
saying that he was illegally carrying a firearm is a fact claim. That he is untrue. He wasn't illegally carrying a firearm. He was legally carrying a firearm.
Yeah, but the state's currently arguing that he is, though. So I really don't think they could get defamation for that.
Fear factor.
Even
everybody's Joe Rogan now. We're gonna be fear factor.
It's got to be a fact.
Three
It has
cockroaches.
to
I
be
just seen
a
a girl
fact.
over there eat 12
Something that
scorpions.
you like. Even the Nazi stuff they'll say is subjective. The white supremacists. That's why they love that stuff, because it's subjective. Oh, you live in a society that's overrun with white supremacy. That's what I mean.
Right.
It's like defamation case
Down south
dismissed.
is running wild right now.
The stand there, he's obviously playing for the audience, a certain audience.
Well, it certainly looks like it at times, and this is a high bar for the prosecution to clear.
Okay, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I know.
Self-defense. How do you get inside the mind of Kyle Rittenhouse? Did he really feel like he had to defend his own life?
What?
Well, they got
I'm like Gage Grosskreutz
exactly.
pointing his gun at this asshole's head. What the fuck is he gonna do?
Yeah.
I don't see what is so difficult about putting yourself in that situation.
You'll hear this a lot too. This is also part of the narrative, is that the judge getting so angry at Binger is him pretending to be angry for the cameras.
What?
That's the narrative they're pushing. Because apparently that judge is in an elected position, so they're saying, oh, he's just trying to win his next election or something. So that's the narrative.
This is another reason why I'm completely losing faith in the criminal justice system is, I mean, you suspect this stuff to happen in secret, right? All this government overreach, all this prosecutorial
any of this
overreach.
shit.
You
You
expect it
wouldn't
to
wanna
happen
know
when the
any of this.
cameras are off,
expect
not
it. You
when
shouldn't
it's
have to
the
think
most
about it
widely
happening.
viewed case in like the
Wild.
decade.
Right.
They're
then
willing.
there's
This is
somebody
so
else.
bad. They're willing to
Imagine
do it in
two
front of everyone.
But I
racially
kind of
charged-
disagree because I think that makes
two
it
racially
that increases
charged
the
cases
pressure
going off at the same time.
for him to feel like he
one
needs
is
to get the
getting
guilty
more
verdict.
news
He
than
doesn't
the
want to
other
appear
one.
like a national failure.
And I know these dudes would probably fucking
So that
insane it.
just
Would
makes
review it,
lying
but
okay.
This one's
Oh no, of course
capitalism.
not. I'm just saying that
Simple as
would make him,
capitalism.
in my
Holy
mind,
fuck.
that would give him
Can't hate him
greater,
for it.
that give Binger greater
But at least, like,
motivation to
when they're
be
going in
deceptive
it,
and to
they're
lie,
going
and
in
to
it.
use every dirty trick.
They're not
in the
like
book.
Destiny and being like, well,
Because
the judge can't do
if
that.
Kyle gets
Like,
off,
dude, do you know
which
what a
I
judge
think he will, and I
can and
hope he
cannot
will,
do? No.
I think
What are you saying?
everyone, all the anti-Kyle people are going to blame Binger. They already are. They're saying that this state sucked in their prosecution film. That's the narrative. That's what they're going to fall back on. They're going to say, we live in a white supremacist society and Binger sucked.
This is so sad. This is so sad.
Scary.
Like all the pressures
claimed
on
by some of
Binger.
the
Just say it's reality
not
is,
sad.
is
Fuck 'em.
scary shit.
Well, no, I'm saying it's sad because it's producing a situation where people are lying and deceiving.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't you want to think
Yeah.
that
But prosecutors are supposed to do
Well, and
that.
to be
we
to
don't
be
have that
clear,
Let Destiny
situation?
tell
Don't
you.
you
Even
want
if
to
this
think people are
wasn't-
getting
Let
a fair
Destiny
trial?
tell
I
it.
mean,
Even if this wasn't being
Prosecutors
televised,
are
I still
supposed to
think
do this.
Binger
This
would
is-
be
that's their
horribly
job, is to
dishonest in this
lie.
case and everything. Because
they
obviously
get
a lot
fucking
of this
results.
case, and the reason these charges are brought in the first place is political, and it's because the mayor of the town, who's related
Not
to
bad.
Binger,
no
and the
way.
police chief.
No
Yes.
way.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't
Yeah.
know that they're all related. The police
Yeah,
chief,
yeah, chat.
Binger,
Yeah,
and the
chat.
mayor. I believe they're all
I did hear
related,
this
right,
part.
Chet?
This is
And-
like a
Right,
total
chat?
small town
Right,
too.
chat?
Yes, it is.
Somebody
That's
look that
exactly
up.
it. And
Look
a
at
lot of
fact
this
check.
trial is them trying to distract away from their utter failure of protecting the community
south?
during the riots last year.
Right.
No.
They
Down
want to
south.
blame Kyle. They want to be like, oh, see, it's
Two
his
racially
fault.
charged. One guy
Claimed
killing
by some of the witnesses
two white
from the
guys
prosecution, actually, the one
and
man who said,
three
"Yes,
white
I had a
guys
gun. I
killing,
was waving
chasing
at Calvert House,
down,
I saw the
hunting.
gun, I shot him." But
One black
let's ask
dude.
former prosecutor Charles Coleman, who's been
Don't-
watching
don't
this,
get
what
me
he
wrong,
thinks
these dudes
about
are
all this.
assholes.
So, Charles,
All
you're
three
an
of them, and
experienced
this cocksucker
prosecutor.
as well.
You understand what's going on. You're watching how
What
the judge is
Kyle
behaving. You're
Rittenhouse
watching how the
testified in his
prosecutor's
own ifs
behaving.
and
You
precedent.
watched the witness
He
on
had
the stand,
nothing to
Mr.
hide.
Rittenhouse himself yesterday.
No hide.
If you're the prosecutor
That's me
in this
playing
case,
Yu-Gi-Oh
how are you
right now.
feeling right
Sorry.
now?
Well, Willie, to be honest, if I'm the prosecutor in this case, the answer in terms of how I'm feeling is not good. The prosecution
have nothing.
already had a very difficult case from the
I have
outset. I
nothing.
think
Exactly.
it's important that viewers understand that this was not going to be an open shut case for the prosecution to
why
start
would you
with.
fight it?
And the judge, as Joe already alluded
Why would
to,
you
has
fight it?
not
If there
done
was
them any
reasonable
favors
doubt, it's
in
funny
terms of
because it's
his
always supposed to
rulings
be,
and made it
you know,
very
it's supposed
much
to be
so
without a
an
reasonable
uphill
doubt.
battle. Yesterday,
There's
when
all
Kyle
types of
Rittenhouse
doubt
took
going
the
on here.
stand, I would say that
On
would
the
have been an
prosecution
unconventional
side.
move to put
Like, dude, you
a
serious?
teenager on the stand. There were some snafus that he made during his testimony.
a
He
fucking
did say,
Christian-looking
I wanted
boy,
an
bro."
AR-15 because I thought it was cool. But for the most part,
Means nothing.
he did what he needed to do. He had an effective direct in terms of his testimony, laying it out and
Who?
Being real?
What?
Being
What
truthful?
kid is going to say I didn't want an AR-15 because it looks cool? I mean, then that's an obvious
Not gonna
lie.
say
They
the
look
other
cool
part?
as fuck. I mean,
Fuck that part.
it's we're being serious here, right?
Well, it's interesting because so many people repeat that as if it's like the gotcha question. And it obviously, like, that's the Jonathan Haidt, the moral question. You know, should you buy a gun because it's cool? Because it's like, well, I mean, sure, most people would agree with that. But then it triggers
I'll give you
the
guys
anti-gun people, like triggers some weird
5
emotion
more
in them.
minutes. Let me
That,
see what 5 more
like,
minutes
they can't
is. I didn't
explain
go past the
logically
spot.
or factually why that's bad. But when they hear it, they're like, oh.
I do need to stop by putting
What doesn't look cool
thumbnails
to them?
to make these things appealing.
Well, to them, it's like you saying an AR-15 looks cool is like saying I think shooting someone is cool. I think murder is
Fucking
cool.
Rugers.
That's
look
how
cool.
they're- maybe that's
Still,
how they're
Rugers look
interpreting
cool. It's like, what the fuck can I get
Well,
at the time?
I mean, shooting someone.
Like, do
who's
I get a
attacking
fucking
you, I don't. I mean,
AK-47?
saving your own life seems kind of cool to me.
It has to be semi though, huh?
It does. I mean,
Right.
aren't
But
all
If
our
you could
movies
save your life
based
with
on
the
this? I mean,
batons.
the bad guy tries to
Exactly.
get you, and you get him
Exactly.
first. I mean, that's
But see,
that's the hero's
difference.
journey.
Kyle was the
That's
bad
the
guy.
difference is that
Kyle
so
was the
if
bad guy.
some people look at it and they'll say, oh, you know, yeah, AR-15 is cool. Shooting the bad guy is cool. You're protecting yourself. You're protecting your family, et cetera, et cetera. And then the anti-gun people are like, oh, you're not you're in the school, you're gunning down innocent children.
It's just
you're,
where you were at.
in
Yeah,
Las
it's
Vegas
like,
shooting
why
people.
were
Like
you
then
there?
when they see that gun, it just
Why were
triggers
you
something.
there?
Like, this is a military gun. This is
But
an
what wasn't
assault
triggering was
rifle.
that
You're
other
not
guy having a
supposed to
concealed
have
weapon.
this.
He
Yeah,
just didn't
the
have a long
testimony
trench
on the
coat.
stand was just
He didn't have a trench coat with his
infuriating.
gun,
Like
his concealed weapon.
Nobody brought
Oh,
up,
sorry.
a
Can't talk over
credible
intelligence.
threat of force as the reason to hold the gun. It's like they really underperformed there.
And
We know
you
what
can
this fucking
show, you
uppity
can tell
black
it's a
dude has to
completely
say?
emotional, illogical argument because they're actually making a backwards argument. They're saying, oh, Kyle carrying a gun, a big scary gun during the protest is provocation. When it's like, it's
the
literal
opposite.
opposite. Yeah, the open carrying a gun, especially like in a long rifle, is a deterrent. People see that, and like the sane person, unlike Rosenbaum, the sane person
This is
isn't going to get
sane
into a fight
talking.
in someone if they're open carrying a big gun because, like, hey, this guy could.
See, this is why I like Adam. He's always talking sound shit. You would think that if somebody was attacking you while you have a fucking assault rifle around your shoulder, it's not a fucking normal fucking situation. I don't know why Sitch doesn't get this.
Shoot me if I get into a fight with this person. That's the entire point of open carrying, is to say, don't fuck with me.
Oh God, man.
And that's what's so crazy, because imagine if Kyle wasn't,
but they feel
imagine if he was
intimidated by it,
concealed
though.
carrying a handgun.
If you hear anybody
If
tell you
Rosenbaum
about it,
starts
they'd say,
chasing
"Oh, he
him,
shouldn't have been
Rosenbaum
walking
doesn't
around
see that he has a
intimidating
gun,
people."
and then in the middle of running away, Kyle pulls his gun out and shoots him in the face. It would be like, you would think that then the state would have a better case of saying Kyle wasn't acting self-defense, because
Still a little bit
Rosenbaum had no clue that
self-defense-y,
he was armed,
but way different
whatsoever.
Way different.
So it's so
way
weird,
different.
because they're all making this backwards argument, and it's not really being called out.
Yeah, it's sad. I don't know
because
why
then that actually helps
they're not doing this. I mean, this is the whole idea behind law enforcement. I mean, law enforcement opens carry.
I'll stop at this last time for a quick 2 seconds. That would help their case, because now we can say, like, oh, he was running around with a concealed weapon, antagonizing somebody to shoot, just so they can shoot them, so he can finish off his LARPing, fantasy or whatever the fuck bullshit that they're doing. But yeah, again, you guys are more intelligent than I am.
Open carries for a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why open carry is a thing.
The jury, and at least creating what is.
Though at least this guy so far is pretty neutral in his
so
explanation.
Far, I'm waiting.
Yes.
I'm waiting. Please.
Reasonable doubt, and it's important that the audience understands.
This whole live stream is just Sitch trying to trigger Adam. This whole live stream. He sent me a DM yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I got a bunch of clips, and I'm thinking, that's funny. All you sent me was like a Jacobin video, and it wasn't even about Kyle Rittenhouse. Where are
I
these
didn't
clips?
send you.
So it was about unicorns.
No. I have a fresh perspective.
This is infuriating. This is so infuriating.
It's sickening. It's sickening.
The standard
it's not
here
even
is reasonable
infuriating.
doubt, and it just has to be: do
It's
they
sick,
reasonably
reasonable doubt.
doubt the state of mind that Kyle Rittenhouse?
My fault. I wasn't supposed to pause it again. Reasonable doubt is usually the fucking whole reason district attorneys take cases, dog. They definitely have to have. They're supposed to be, but they're supposed to have no reasonable doubt when they go towards with these things. That's why I say that the FBI didn't take this shit. The FBI looked away, said, "Yeah, I'm gonna laugh at you guys while you fight this." But again, Trump did get fucking elected, so who the fuck knows? And it's lucky it's not like majority vote either. It's a good thing that everybody has to be unanimous on if he's guilty or innocent. And then he has a fucking real good case. That's the only reason why he has a real good case. Because there's at least, if not 2 or 3, there is at least 4 people in there, or maybe even 6, just because of the fucking environment that's going on. Unless I don't know nothing about the thing. It is majority rule. You dig? But I feel like I think it has to be a unanimous rule that Kyle is guilty for him to go for murder. Everybody has to be unanimous on this, without reasonable doubt. Without reasonable doubt. But then also too, it's like, the judge is supposed to be able to make the final cut, like after reagulating and you guys being assholes and not knowing shit. I'm the judge, and this is what happens. But again, dude, if you're a red-blooded American, as you people, as everybody within this fucking phone frame is saying, it's like, yo, you ask this guy, what if it was a young Afro-American in such a place? And you say, oh, why was he there? Why is a lot of young Afro-Americans in places where they're not supposed to be? Or even young minorities where they're not supposed to be. You can ask that for anything, dog. Like that should not be anything you should try to stand on. Whatever word you're trying to stand on, you shouldn't be standing on that word.
I think that his testimony,
All right,
along
5
with
minutes.
the
I
relatively
give you 5 minutes
ineffective
of
cross-examination by the
unnecessary
prosecution.
silliness.
Is that their terrible audio?
That's their terrible audio.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you see,
not my
the
terrible
guest
audio?
is he's saying neutral facts and explaining how Kyle is doing well in the case. So
Right.
they're
Like bad connection.
whoops. Bad connection. You're going through a tunnel. You're going through a tunnel. Get out of there.
The audio guy is like, oh yeah, we'll just turn this one down.
Yeah.
Where are the Kyle insults?
That was
Made
crazy.
that pretty clear.
So, Charles, for people who haven't been in the courtroom the way you have, explain what we saw between the judge and the prosecution yesterday. The judge sends the jury out of the room. They have that back and forth where the judge kind of yells at the prosecution about his line of questioning, said, I warned you not to go there on that. What did we watch there? And how odd is this dynamic throughout the trial between the judge and the attorneys in the courtroom?
Well, I wouldn't say it's not reasonably
fucking
unusual to
prosecutors
see
reaching.
something like that happen.
Reaching.
However, the vitriol with which this judge went after the prosecutor is a little bit much. I mean, I know that I have at different times experienced myself or seen other attorneys being admonished by the judge for something that they've done, but not to this degree. Now, what I will say is that there was one particular ruling that the judge made that I thought was appropriate, and that was when the prosecutor was going into a line of questioning regarding Rittenhouse's relative silence in the wake of his arrest. And part of the reason that I say that is we all do have a constitutional right in order to, against self-incrimination. And so I do appreciate that the judge did want to protect against inferences that were drawn there. But there have been so many different...
It's not only a constitutional right. I mean, it's becoming culturally accepted as like the recommended course of action because you can inadvertently incriminate yourself. There's all these laws on the books that you don't necessarily know what they are. And then you get a prosecutor like Binger who's like, let me just look at, well, I'll dig something up to frame this guy.
All he
So
has.
most attorneys now say, you know, even just interacting with the police, just you're supposed to, there's like just a few things that you're able to say that you should say.
Right.
Like,
And
you know,
you'll see.
are you writing me a ticket? Am I free to go? Like that.
Right. Don't, well, you know, there's that video, don't ever talk to the police.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, you'll see this trend in all these clips that we're going to go through where the pundits will be like, they'll ask the lawyer, like, isn't it crazy that the judge chewed out the lawyer? And all the lawyers are like, no, not really. That kind of happens. Like, it's funny because they do this thing where they're trying to tell the host that the host is wrong, but say it in kind of a nice way. So they get invited on the show.
Yeah. So they get back on. Exactly.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at there. These dudes are worth watching because, like I said, they're quick to apologize when they're wrong, or they'll even not even apologize, but they will let you know when they are wrong. They will bring facts. If facts are brought to them, they will be like, "All right, well, cool. I did not know that. I'm glad that you informed me." Yada yada yada. But all in all, I still feel like this is just this trial overshadowing another trial. You know what I mean? Because I don't. It might also be my the algorithm of my YouTube viewing that is probably doing this racist shit where it showed a white boy killing two other white boys in the fucking sake of hating Black Lives Matter and still not shooting any black people in their back. Yeah, all right. I guess I'm gonna title this "Fuck Us, Adam and Sitch," because you know Adam looks like me, and I think Sitch is a racist. Y'all be good.